Okay, Oscar fans, we are 6 months away from the Best Actor and Actress race at the Oscars, but we are fearless prognosticators at Gold Derby, as you well know. I'm Tom O'Neill with Gold Derby. We're here with Clayton Davis of Variety, Tim Gray, also of Variety, and Thompson, Indiewire, and Pete Hammond from Deadline. Who wants to go first? Best actress. Who's got the guts to say who's the front runner right now?
No, there is no front runner. It's such a tight race. We're in August in my mind, like I said in the other piece that we did. But to have this number of genuine contenders at this point is pretty extraordinary in any year, especially this year. And just on paper, it's great of ones, but you have legends competing against first timers in this race with extraordinary performances that are going to appeal to the actors branch. No question about it. This is going to be a race like we haven't seen in a while.
Okay, and here are the odds at Gold Derby right now. It's not a race, according to what Gold Derby says. They disagree with Mr. Hammond completely because we have an overwhelming odds favorite in Viola Davis in Ma Rainey. I shouldn't say overwhelming. She's considerably ahead of Frances McDormand in Nomadland. And then everybody else is distant third, fourth, etc., including poor Amy Adams, who, of course, is still Oscarless, but now she ranks number 3 at Gold Derby. What say you?
All right, I'm going with my usual, I'm going to go with what I've seen routine, okay? Because we haven't seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Of course, Viola Davis will be huge. I've seen some footage. She looks extraordinary, and everyone loves her. And it's just, you know, she pads, she gains weight, she puts on makeup, she puts gold in her teeth. You know, the works. This is the actors love this literal chewing of the scenery. But I'm going to go right now, and obviously the reason why Frances McDormand isn't in the lead is because she just won, and that's how it works. If you've just won the Oscar, it's harder. She'll get nominated for sure. It would be extraordinary if she did become the front runner as Best Actress, but it's hard to do. Michelle Pfeiffer got a lot of good reaction for French Exit. I think that's a strong performance, very colorful, big, over the top, long time since she's been nominated. And I think Kate Winslet is in the race for Ammonite. I think she's extraordinary in that movie. It's a small art film. Again, it has to get a lot of great reviews and go forward, but her performance is fabulous in it.
Clayton, what do you say?
Yeah, I think at this time of recording, I think there's a heavy top 3, and I think that's in probably in order: Vanessa Kirby, Viola Davis, and Frances McDormand. I do agree somewhat with Anne on, like, Frances McDormand just won her second, and they don't for them to go back to the well that quick after. You know, we've only, you know, it took them 20 years to go back to Meryl Streep, and Daniel Day-Lewis was able to do it in kind of one of those undeniables. But this is a very competitive lineup. I think Viola could be very competitive here as well. But I said after I saw Pieces of a Woman, and not comparing the quality of the work, but her coming into that performance reminds me of when Charlize Theron came in Monster. Like, just that arrival of, like, I'm the serious actress. And she's going to have The World to Come, which I believe is going to get a qualifying run this year as well. So she'll be a supporting actress contender there. And I think that could only probably help here. Michelle Pfeiffer, to add to that, I think Michelle Pfeiffer is in that zone of, I think if she's in, she wins. And if she's not going to win, I don't think they're going to put her in. And that's kind of a logic I'm kind of feeling right now. I know Glenn Close went in 7 times and lost, but I think Michelle Pfeiffer just feels like, it feels to me like the performance is divisive, and the performance is good. The movie's divisive, and I think she'll need kind of a groundswell around her. So I think if she's in, she's gonna beat everyone in the category, but if she's not, I think she.
We have a lot of Tim, of these biopics. You know, we've got the United States versus Billie Holiday with Andra Day. We've got Jennifer Hudson in Respect. We have I'm forgetting one here. Certainly Viola Davis and Ma Rainey, etc. They love famous people portraying other famous people. Do you think one of these biopics might have a chance to really pull through?
Elizabeth Moss might be the other one you were thinking of, by the way. Elizabeth Moss and Shirley.
No, he's the three blues singers. I think you got him.
Yeah, you've got him.
Yeah. But, I mean, biopics go way back to the early days of Oscars, Disraeli and Private Life of Henry VIII. But I really think the turning point was 1980 when Robert De Niro did Raging Bull and Sissy Spacek did Coal Miner's Daughter. And it just shifted the biopics into high gear. I don't know why, but people are fascinated with it. And I think, I mean, when you see the trailers for these things, and you can't always tell from the trailers, but all those films look pretty spectacular. But I do want to go back to Frances McDormand for a minute, because I think logically she would not become the front runner, but on the other hand, she's Frances McDormand. I mean, she's revered in a way that most other actors aren't.
And she does a feat in this movie where she's acting opposite non-pros and immersing herself in this life. And the story, the narrative of how the movie got made is part of her accomplishment as a producer as well.
She'll be double nominated for sure. No. It's going to help.
Yeah, I mean, I think awards voters like to be surprised, I mean, and so, I mean, I've seen Frances McDormand for years, but she still surprised me in this. It's like, wow, you see her do things you've never seen before. So I wouldn't discount her yet.
Yeah, I've never seen her pack an Amazon box before.
Well, I mean, again, the whole, as Ann said, the whole backstory of this film just enhances it. I think it's pretty irresistible.
I also think if the film's winning Best Picture, I think she could be an easy come in with that. If it's going to win picture, director, screenplay. I mean, that's just kind of a natural.
Hard to imagine at this point, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I think you're looking at Sophia Loren's return.
That's where I was going next, Pete.
I saw the trailer today, Pete, and it looked like they were laying it on pretty thick.
I've seen the movie, and when you see her in this,
and jealous. Okay.
What about it 3 weeks ago? It's when they debuted the first stills, and I've actually interviewed Sophia already for the Mill Valley Film Festival.
I'm sure you have.
And it's just
stop with the name dropping. How is she?
6 years old. It's just remarkable to see her back in that role that we so identify her with here, and working opposite this kid. It's got a real story that is easily sellable to Academy voters. So, I don't know. I think there's so many, and Meryl Streep's got 2 movies coming out. One from
Isn't she supporting in the prom?
They haven't confirmed yet if she's lead or supporting. I think she's going to go lead. If that's my guess.
She should go supporting in there.
Nicole is supporting, and the whole cast. But it's like she's a lead in that, and 72 years old now, I think, and amazing.
The other film you were talking about, Pete, are you talking about Let Them All Talk, the Soderbergh movie?
Yeah. With
is that coming this year? That's also
Apple is talking about it. They haven't announced it yet, but they're quietly talking about it.
I thought it was HBO Max.
HBO Max, sorry.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Okay.
HBO Max is putting that out quietly. They're talking about this year. So, but they haven't announced anything. So that could change, certainly. What I hear on that one is supporting for Candice Bergen. So, but yeah. But we'll see.
Do we all remember the Laundromat? Last time she teamed with Soderbergh?
Soderbergh, when he goes fast, sometimes goes too fast.
I like the Laundromat.
Yeah, I have not seen that one, but
the Laundromat was terrible.
I saw the
I
laundromat. Yeah.
No, widely reviled movie.
Yeah,
It wasn't widely reviled, but
And I love
loved it.
Soderbergh. I do.
I also think watch out for Rashida Jones a little bit too. I think she's really good in On the Rocks.
I love Dr.
I think
yeah, that's going places. That movie with.
I think the movie's going to do really well. And
She's
the
ballerina. No, she's the male ballet dancer holding up Bill Murray. You know, the ballerina.
I think she holds the movie together, and in a weird way. I mean, it's arguable that I think. I think that movie is the front runner for the Globes for musical comedy. Like, I think the movie could do really well at the Globes.
The Prom will also do well at the Globes.
Yeah, it's got some others in the way too. The Prom being very prom.
Yeah, and the Prom has the charm of the aging Broadway actors making complete mockery of themselves, which is so much fun.
Well,
I actually saw it on Broadway. It's a great story. It's a good one.
Dazzling recreation of that on film with everything going there. So Golden Globes will be interesting because they can split up this stuff and help out here. It's going to be tough for the Oscars in this category. I'm just telling you. Vanessa Kirby, I just want to agree with Clayton, is an amazing performance that actors will relate to, and she won at Venice. But when you're sitting at home watching that film, getting through the first half hour is not an easy chore, and that's the question mark. Will they get through that film and be able to handle it?
I totally agree with Clayton that this is a discovery of a major actress, and the actors are going to be all over it. Hopefully and it's Netflix, so they picked it up, so they're going to make sure they see it.
Yeah.
If there is one star in this town that they have been trying so hard for years to give an Oscar,
Amy Adams.
Well, other than Amy, no, they haven't been trying too hard at Amy's pick. They kind of been trying. I'm talking Jessica Chastain. She's in the running for what seems like an Oscar
I'm not
movie.
sure that's coming out.
The Eyes of Tammy Faye that's not coming this year.
I don't think it's coming out.
Unless you're talking about the 35.
We got to take it out of the picture.
It's a well-kept secret I've heard of because
okay.
Yeah, no Tammy Faye this year.
Searchlight is actually, delaying French Dispatch and stuff. I think they're holding back and just putting all their marbles on Nomadland.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, Searchlight only has Personal History of David Copperfield, Nomadland. So there's going to be no Next Goal Wins this year.
No.
I do think there's Taika's out. But there are some films that may turn up at Sundance and surprise us. Those are the ones where people are being quiet about what their release dates
it's
are.
Interesting that Sundance is going to kind of factor in the Oscar race this year.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a weird thing.
I mean, this is a long and winding road.
This is what we all get for bitching and moaning last year about it's such a short year, and then boom, here's the longest year ever.
Yeah.
It keeps it interesting, Clayton. We can't just rely on reading the usual tea leaves.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to jump to the men, and what the heck is going on with Chadwick Boseman?
He's in
Welcome, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah,
Chadwick Boseman will be lead for Ma Rainey because there's no reason for Netflix to have him compete with Da 5 Bloods where he's supporting. So,
and I actually heard that Denzel and Spike got together and made this decision. So that
Spike definitely made it for Da 5 Bloods.
There was, and since it's all an internecine kind of adventure there, it really came down to how and they're obviously
old friends.
And that's how it came down in the realistic way here, from what I hear on Inside Baseball on that one.
And just judging from the footage of Ma Rainey that I saw, Chadwick is unbelievable. It looks like a strong performance. He sings, he dances, he
what's
emotes.
Is that, just to digress a little bit, but on Ma Rainey, she is augmented by a singer they hired on of her songs. I don't know that hurt Bohemian Rhapsody or Ray that was done the same.
No, Rami Malek, it didn't matter.
It may not, but it could factor in here if that gets out.
She sings one song.
and then three
Which
other.
is not performative. It's just singing to
Right.
the
It's
girlfriend.
dog. The dog.
Do you think it hurt Rebecca Ferguson for The Greatest Showman?
Yeah, I don't know, but that's an old thing in Hollywood. Marnie and doubling, for all these things, and Audrey Hepburn didn't get nominated for My Fair Lady, and
I don't think it'll hurt her.
didn't get nominated for West Side.
And I'm still pissed off about it.
Yeah, I'll say though, I think
it's just a part of the performance. On stage, the actress that played that role always did the singing, obviously. So,
I'll say though, I think Anthony Hopkins has a challenger, and I think that's gonna be kind of the only challenger. I think kind of working itself out. And listen, we have 6 more months to go, and there's going to be a lot of movement. But I think we've all been waiting for what could rival Anthony Hopkins, because his performance is so fantastic.
What about Delroy Lindo for The Five Bloods?
I think Delroy.
Yeah,
he's great. That came out so early. That's almost going to be a year to the to the Oscars. Yeah. So it's hard to do it. What about Gary Oldman in Mank?
I think with Delroy, I think the movie
he's already won too.
Than just him.
Yeah, I don't think Gary Oldman can win on Mank, but he's it's a very good role that he'll probably get nominated for. It's the kind of thing they like, and so we'll.
And
see.
They're selling the idea that it's naked Gary Oldman as opposed to prosthetic Gary Oldman.
That's nice.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, it is.
Have any of you seen Falling, the Viggo Mortensen film?
Yeah, I saw.
I didn't think it was that good.
See, I loved it again,
and nobody picked it up.
Well, not so far. I mean, I think they're still talking to people, but I'm not sure if it will be released in this.
I put that in the category of a noble failure. In other words, I think it's a beautiful movie, and he did some amazing work in it. It's very heartfelt, and the performances are amazing, but it doesn't quite come together as a cohesive drama.
I don't think it's a Viggo play at all in the acting categories, but his father, the guy that plays his father,
Lance Henriksen,
he's great.
Yeah,
he's slipping into.
But nobody's going to see this in time or anything. I don't think.
I don't know. It's on the circuit, but I don't know that it's coming out this year.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows.
Yeah. Tom, to give some your Gold Derby people some knowledge here, Chadwick, if he's nominated, it's going to be the first posthumous nominee and lead actor since Massimo Troisi in '95 for Il Postino, and if he were to win, he'd be one of only 3 posthumous winners ever: Peter Finch for Network and Heath Ledger for The Dark Knight. So, and then if he does manage a double nomination, he would be the first double nominee in the same year ever, because James Dean got his back to back. So it'd be.
Does anyone here except me know how Peter Finch died?
He died right after doing taping Regis and Kathy Lee in Los Angeles, and he was coming from a taping and was over at the Beverly Hills Hotel and had a heart attack.
Yes, exactly, in the lobby while it looked like he was campaigning.
Oh my God!
I'm very impressed.
Right before the Globes, right? It was like the weekend before the Globes or something.
Yeah, it was in January. Mm-hmm.
But also in terms of talking actors, One Night in Miami. Is it Kingsley Ben Adir?
He should be lead. He should be lead.
I think he's the lead, and the other 3 would be supporting. But
agreed.
I thought he was great, and the actor.
He's the Vanessa Kirby of the Best Actor race.
Yeah,
the Discovery.
He's British. He's nothing like him. He's British. When you talk to him, I just did a drive-in interview with the 4 of them for AFI, and he's very well spoken and thoughtful, and they credit him for being the actor's actor of the whole bunch of them. Yeah. Leslie Odom Jr. I thought was great as Sam Cooke.
He's gonna be dangerous in supporting actor.
I agree.
But I think it's an ensemble. But I think what's going to end up happening is they're going to push Kingsley lead to get him kind of out of the way for Leslie
Odom.
to run the gauntlet.
Yeah.
If you
I think Kingsley might just end up coming up short.
So Chicago 7 is the
Chicago. I mean, come on. That is an ensemble.
Yeah, Chicago 7. What's your beat on that? Because
Sacha Baron Cohen has to be lead, I think, and technically Eddie Redmayne as well, because he's the best known.
Eddie Redmayne has one vote at Gold Derby as a winner.
I don't think he's going to get nominated. The others, because he's playing an unsympathetic character, but the others will be duking it out for supporting, and there's so many good ones.
Yeah,
oh my God, Mark Rylance, Frank Langella.
I know.
If Sacha Baron Cohen goes lead, that's gonna be the best thing that ever happens to Frank Langella, because I think he'll make it in there.
You know what? I don't know what they're
Jeremy Strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Yeah.
Oh my God, I talked to
Oscar talk. I think the SAG Ensemble Award is really the most interesting race this year, because it's like, I mean, I can think of films that I've seen. I can think of at least 5 of them that should be nominated there.
Minari's gonna be dangerous there too.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many. But yeah, Aaron Sorkin was talking about Jeremy Strong when I interviewed him, and he said, you know, Jeremy Strong came to me and wanted me to use real tear gas on him in that scene. And I said, you know, I just can't put poison gas on one of my actors, so we're going to go another way. But that's how method and how serious an actor Strong is. And
he's wily. I went and watched the movie again, which is a sign of how, I mean, really, I wanted to, because it's so entertaining and so much and so dense, and the writing is so good, and the performances are so good, and he sets everything up. It's fun to watch again and see how. I mean, Yahya Mateen is good too.
Yeah.
Do you also think that Colin Firth and Stanley Tucci might be dangerous this year too with Supernova?
I have to see that movie. That's a case where you really have to see if it's good or not.
Yeah, I mean, not confirmed yet, but I think it's going to end up with Firth in lead and Tucci in supporting. And I think Tucci could be dangerous in supporting, especially if Chadwick's out of that way now in supporting actor with Ma Rainey. I don't think he's going to win for the Five Bloods. But.
No, definitely not there. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen it.
And Riz Ahmed. Let's not forget about him. He does really good work.
That's an indie where they're contending for him. But again, how many people are going to see The Sound of Music? It's a very intense, strident kind of movie.
I looked at it. It says 130 minutes, so it's still on my to-do list here. But the running time really gets you when you have to watch movie after movie here.
And for the fanboys, let's just say Tom Holland and Cherry, just in case.
I have to see it. I read the book. It's a very strong story. It could be a great breakthrough for him, but if it needs to be a good movie.
Is that that's another Netflix one, right?
Apple.
No, Apple. And then Judas and the Black Messiah too.
That's the one I have pegged for Sundance.
Yeah.
Daniel Kaluuya, Breakout. I could just see it, because Warner's isn't giving us any dates.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's coming this year, or coming in the eligibility period. I've got a couple sources that talked about it, and it sounds very good. I think they're going to have to figure out a category strategy.
Interesting that Fred Hampton factors in 2 movies this year.
Yeah.
Right.
What about am I pronouncing his name correct? Stephen Yeun.
Yeun. Minari. I think he's got a shot. That movie is a strong contender, and again, it's an indie that could go far with A24 behind it.
Yeah.
Won the big prizes at Sundance. Yeah.
He's really close. And it's funny because I think the plan is to push him lead, and I think like they could go either way with him. And I wonder now with the Chadwick news if they would consider supporting, because he may have an easier road.
It's his story. It has to be lead.
But I think he's a strat, because you can make the argument that it's like the kid's story, or it's all their stories, kind of way, or you can see it as an ensemble too.
He's the star. I mean, it's his story. It's got to be the dad is the star. Yeah.
He also is in it for like 20 minutes, like 25 minutes. He's not in like a good chunk of it.
I think the grandma is a good bet for that one.
Yeah.
Supporting.
The 5 top leads for Best Supporting Actress, according to Gold Derby, which is never wrong, of course. Yeah. Number 1, Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy. Number 2, Olivia Colman for The Father. Number 3, Amanda Seyfried for Mank.
She's amazing.
What's that?
She's amazing. Amanda.
Is she? And then Is Saoirse Ronan a real contender for Ammonite?
At this point,
I
So,
think
yeah.
I disagree with Ann on Ammonite. I think Ammonite's going to fade once it opens.
I think it is too. Yeah.
I will say that it's the Kate Winslet show, and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Saoirse's not
okay.
in the running, I don't think.
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I
She's
don't.
she'll break Kate Winslet's record if she gets nominated though. Youngest of 5 nominations ever.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
See her.
And then Ellen Burstyn, Pieces of a Woman.
Right.
And then I can't pronounce her name from Minari. Young
Yo
Hugh.
Jung Hong.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's good. But I've been wrong before. I saw Zhao Sushen walk out of a season without a nomination in her hand for the farewell. So
It's
I
a
always get
question-
worried about people.
Minari has to accomplish more than the farewell did, but it
Yeah.
has more wind in its sails in this leaner year, I would suggest.
Yeah.
It's if you see it, it's a lovely, heartbreaking movie.
And following Parasite, it's certainly it's possible. Emotion plays into a lot of this too. I just want to mention Amanda Seyfried. It's Marion Davies is a revelation in May. She's the one you walk away talking about. She's really good.
Yeah, I'm still going to champion Swanky in Nomadland. I think she pulls a 1-2 punch.
Who? Oh, one of the real people.
Yeah.
Don't see that. Yeah.
Unlikely, I think.
Yeah, it'll be a hard road for her, but I think she's. Listen, I think supporting actress is also pretty thin.
It is.
Actors are very specific about that kind of thing. With occasionally a non-pro gets nominated.
Parkhead Abdi.
But it's not in that movie. I don't know. I think that might be tough.
You think Mary J. Blige could come for number 2 for herself?
What's she in?
Respect.
I
Have to see it.
haven't seen it.
She's got 11 votes to win a Gold Derby and 500 to be nominated.
Got to see it. Jennifer.
The early buzz on Helena Zengel in News of the World is also pretty positive that she might be something to consider.
That looks like it could be a potential.
I think that's a big spoiler on the studio front. If it's not going to be Nomadland, if there's another studio, I think that could come in. Universal with News of the World.
They're going to push it. They're pushing it big.
It could possibly be a nominee, but not a winner.
Yeah.
But they do think, for the insiders I talked to there that saw it, think that it's got potential as a possible Best Picture nominee.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? The Paul Greengrass movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also Warner Brothers has Judas, which I don't know. It sounds really interesting to me. I haven't seen it obviously, but that sounds like it has a lot of potential. Do we think Tenet is
Crafts.
Sound, visuals, score, maybe. I think, and maybe some
tech only.
I haven't seen it.
I also haven't seen it either. Just go to a movie theater. Yeah.
We have to go.
I saw it at a drive-in, which means that I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Although I will say, Searchlight's Nomadland, to go back to Nomadland, I kind of liked seeing it at a drive-in.
That was the best mounted drive-in I've been to. It was done beautifully.
Yeah, it
and
was
a great sound and everything. It was really well done.
You have a group of people in their cars that form a community, but they're isolated. I thought, well, this is a perfect drive-in.
But they're not all like that.
Yeah. I saw that Middleburg on a big screen, and it was beautiful to watch on a big screen. It was like it made me really miss the movies.
These are
one
all.
more point I wanted to make. I don't know how you guys feel about this. I wrote an article about it a few weeks ago. Director skewing very young and skewing very novice in air quotes of like 1 or 2 movies that are going to be under their belt. This is Chloe Zhao's 3rd movie. Regina King and Florian Zeller is going to be their first movies for One Night in Miami and The Father. Sorkin, this is his 2nd movie. This is a very like kind of non-seasoned thing. Fincher is going to be the most seasoned guy in the running. George C. Wolfe is the oldest that's in the running. He's only 67. So it's a very like weird kind of dynamic this year that we're not used to.
Thank you for saying that, Clayton. It's no, I think it could be very good for women. That's a strong year for women.
Getting 2 this year, I feel it.
Yeah.
Tom is dissecting.
Did anybody mention Bill Murray? By the way, I think he's great.
I think Ann did.
What category? I did, but I'm curious to see where he ends up. In what category? You think it's definitely supporting?
Definitely, yeah.
He's the lead of that movie. Sorry.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I know.
You can argue that it's her story, and you know.
Yeah, I don't even think it is. I don't think it's arguable. I think he's clearly supporting. I think it's 100% Rachida's story.
It is. As I said, she's supporting him.
He comes in, and the film just takes off. And when he leaves, it goes.
There's a lot of affection for him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I don't think the campaign either.
To back up Anne, I mean, I think there've been a lot of performances. Like Frances McDormand in Fargo and Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs, where their screen time was not the most. But when you think of the film, those are the people you think of. And so I think Bill Murray falls into that kind of lead category because of that, because of the impression he makes, not necessarily the amount of time.
I know they're thinking supporting, but it's up to the actors branch to nominate.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Are there any final question? Any performances that you personally are rooting for?
Are we in supporting now, or in general?
Throughout in general, throughout the field.
Jessie Buckley. I'm thinking of ending things, but she's gonna have a hard time.
Jessie Buckley in which one?
I'm thinking of ending
the Charlie Kaufman film.
Oh, they'll never get through that.
I mean,
Pete is representing the mainstream of the Academy today.
I'm safe in representing the mainstream of the Academy on that one.
I loved Rachel Brosnahan in I'm Your Woman, the Julia Hart film. I would love to see that emerge. I'm curious to see who's going to see it. It's a thriller. It's sort of a small scale indie movie, but you never know.
She's really
and Julia Garner too in The Assistant. I still think she's one
yeah,
of the best.
but that my God, I was in Telluride with that one.
Me too. Yeah.
Like
last year.
I can't even believe that.
It came out January 31st. It was
and Elizabeth Moss was great in The Invisible Man. That would be the one that I would root for, but it's just not what the Academy tends to like.
I think she's so good in that movie.
She'll have her day.
Yeah.
She's had her Emmy. I want Chaz
commentary
to win for one of those.
Chaz Ebert.
Yeah.
I definitely, the other person I think is awesome and who just got cast by George Miller as Furiosa is Anya Taylor-Joy in Emma. And we keep not talking about Emma, but Emma has been on the Academy portal. People like it. It did really well in theaters as long as it was in theaters. And it's a typical mainstream period enjoyable Academy movie. And I think it's directed really well. Costumes, lots of things could go on.
And Carrie from Promising Young Woman.
Carrie Mulligan.
Yeah,
that's a strange movie.
It is. I liked it. It's the last movie I saw in an actual screening room, and that long ago. And she was very good, but I think there's just too much competition. Probably
that was the last invite I got to a screening before everything shut down.
Yeah.
Young Woman.
The movie I love that I know has no chance except, of course, in the crafts is, and I know we all saw it a year ago in Toronto, was it's one of my favorite books of all time, and I thought they did such a good job with it.
Wait a minute. What is it you cut out there for a second?
It's the Yanucci movie with Dev Patel.
Dev Patel as David Copperfield. I just think it was wonderful.
I think it's a front runner in like production design and costumes, and I think it's a sneak attack in adapted screenplay.
That's a movie that kind of went through the pandemic without any. It's one of these strange. It was in one early festival after another. It kept not getting released. It kept getting postponed. It got caught in a weird ether where it's disappeared.
Production design, you mentioned Mank is phenomenal production design. I mean, I swore, because I had just been to San Simeon about a year and a half ago, I thought, well, they just got permission to go shoot there because it is so friggin' accurate to that. It's beautiful production design.
I look forward to seeing it, Pete.
Well, don't you? Did you get your
I
invitation?
got my invitation. I get to see it in a week.
The end aid is so good. I'm so glad I'm here for all of it.
Wait, here.
Screening it. They've been screening this movie.
I got it, but it's not. This is for Tuesday, October 27th.
Coming up, and I think they're doing the same thing with Life Ahead coming up too.
They seem to be rolling out about one a week, basically.
Yeah, in that way, but they've been screening some of this stuff.
I'm happy to be on their list.
Yes, and I was just blown away by the recreation of that stuff.
Okay, we will call it quits here. We will pick this up again soon. Thank you, everybody. These are real insights this early in the race, and I know what guts it takes to stick our neck out like this. But if you've been following the stream of comments to the right, hundreds and hundreds of streams flowing, everybody's cheering us on for getting these insights. And
we were live? No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
apparently
there are a few nasty comments too that I've been hiding. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Love you, Pete. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.